The Devil's Doorway was a film that was released back in July, and I've just kind of skipped over it here and there. I thought it would fall in price for a little while. It's been $6.99 on Amazon forever, since July now. I mean, we're months in now. And I just kept thinking, like, it'll drop to $4.99, it'll drop whatever. I was being cheap. Yes, I was being cheap, but the movie only runs in at 1:16, and I figured with credits and whatnot, it would be like 1:10. And I was like, 1:10, and it's a religious movie. Like, it's a religious horror movie, and a lot of religious horror movies are very Exorcist-like, which is, The Exorcist is excellent. But when you see the same movie over and over and over again, you get really tired of it. So I was like, it'll probably be like The Exorcist. It's only 1:10. It's blah, blah, you know, I just had all these excuses. So, anyways, it still hasn't dropped in price, but freaking Rebecca Reinhardt rented it, and so I borrowed it from her. Thank you for that. So I finally got to sit down and watch this. This is a found footage style horror film set in the 1960s. Wow, that's different, right? It's set in that little box frames, like 16 millimeter or something. So that adds. Anyway, so quick on the film itself. I thought the film was fucking excellent. I was pleasantly surprised. I went into this not knowing a damn thing about it. I had seen some reviews. Rebecca was not a big fan of it, but she's not really a big fan of found footage or religious movies. But another guy I know really liked it, so that was what kind of made me pull the trigger on this. And I'm so glad that I did. I thought that this felt so creepy, so eerie. It didn't feel like The Exorcist at all. There's no exorcism being performed in it, nothing like that. So that was a huge difference for once. And so I really, really appreciated the hell out of that. So these two priests are they are told by the Vatican, they're sent by the Vatican to go investigate this miracle that's happening in this nunnery of sorts that is for whatever the hell you want to call these women that were, I can't remember what that's called when they're done away with because they've had pregnancies out of wedlock or prostitution or whatever. Like, all of the scum gets thrown there. Scum, you know what I mean. But so these guys go to investigate it because the Virgin Mary has been crying tears of blood, and the younger priest is the filmmaker. He's the one that's going to document all of this, and there's the older one who is the full-blown skeptic. He thinks that this is a total hoax. He's been on every job in the book for many years in his career, and it's always a hoax, and he's just so convinced of it that it's going to be a hoax. There's such an authenticity to this film. I think that's what really worked well for me, is I really felt there. And that's what found footage can do when it's done well. That's the whole point of POV cam, is so that you feel like you're there, that you're doing this through their eyes. And I like that style as long as it's effective. I thought the acting from the older priest and from Mother Superior in this was excellent. Another thing that adds to the authenticity of films like this is when you have actors you've never seen before, just regular Joes. There's nobody who's like pretty or whatever. Just regular people, and their performances are so real. Fuck, man, this film feels so authentic in every way. It feels like it's the 1960s. It feels like it was filmed on this old ass film stock. Everything worked for me. I loved it. I really did. I watched it in the dark by myself at 2 in the fucking morning. I shut off all the lights. I don't have any notes here. I just wanted to experience. I just wanted to sit down, and I wanted to not relax, but just kind of let myself get engrossed in the film. And I did. I thought there were so many really genuinely creepy ass moments. Lots of clever little things here and there. Yes, there's some tropes. There's some, recycled things that we've seen in found footage and plus. And hey, it's funny. I always talk about how much I hate electrical interferences fucking with digital film. Well, in this one, because the film stock is old, it kind of it kind of starts to degrade and almost melt in ways during scenes when it's not showing things. But I don't know. It has some typical moments for sure. Towards the end, there's a couple things that are like, okay, here we go. But it was really few and far between for me. I thought that all the storyline worked, and as the story kind of progressed, there was a lot of little surprises for me. I was like, oh, okay, this is going like that, and this is happening, and that's happening, and it really worked well for me. And I'm not I'm not a religious man, so that's not why I was being bought into this stuff. I wasn't sitting there like, oh my God, is there this is evil and there's really demons and all this. No, it just was effective filmmaking. I thought that, with what they had, they really nailed it. And I am impressed by this film, and it probably would, sneak into my already stacked top 10 horror films of the year. I don't know what it would nudge out. I'll have to look at what I already have previously written down, but man, I was really impressed by this one. And I think a good deal of that has to do with the fact that I went in very blind. That's why I'm being extremely vague with the details, although I don't really know what more synopsis I could give you than that. That wouldn't be just straight out spoilers. But I was very, very surprised by how much I ended up enjoying this, because, as I had said, Rebecca had watched this not freaking a few hours before me and was like not having it. She was just like, I was boring, and it's boring. Okay, she needs to. Hey Rebecca, I know you're watching this. You need to watch this at night. Turn off all the lights. Turn off your fucking phone. Don't text me or the Killer Flicks group or anything. Put the fucking phone away and pay attention. That's the big problem. I'm not just harping on Becca here. I'm talking about everybody. We need to do this. I didn't touch my phone almost at all during this, except for I text her a couple times saying, what the fuck are you talking about? What movie did you watch? Holy shit. But it was during moments where I knew nothing was going to happen. And so, I really immersed myself in this, and I was very, very happy that I did. So, who's seen this? This has been out for a few months now. I haven't seen enough talk about this, really, for how good it is. Probably because they keep it at $6.99, and it isn't anywhere else on any streamings. It should be on a Shudder. It should be on an Amazon. It should be on a Prime, on a Netflix, on something by now, or at least cut down to like $3.99, $2.99. But they're really keeping it up there. I personally think it's worth it, but I don't know. So, all right, guys. If you do end up renting it, let me know if you've already seen it, and I'd love to hear your feelings on this. But if you're big into found footage films, if you're big into religious type horror, and it is Religious Week over in Killer Flicks, so it's perfect theme for that. Absolutely check this out. I think it's one of the cooler films of the year and one of the best found footage films I've seen in a while. So, all right, guys. Good night.